So guys, this is my weekly report for February 8th, and we've been having a lot of rain, which is good for fishing, but in the next month or two, but kind of puts a halt to things around here. But it's been raining and we need it. We need it in the reservoirs. We need the snow, and it's going to really make our spring fishing really good this year. So let me tell you what I did this week. I went up to Berryessa and I just looked around and it looked like to me that the lake was maybe starting to turn over. I saw trout jumping, which I haven't seen in the last 3 weeks. And I also saw schools of shad foot under the surface. So that's a good indication. It's rained like heck on us that day. So we caught some crappie, but it was a little bit tough, but it was raining like crazy. So we just left early. I just wanted to go up there and check it out. So as soon as I get some clear weather here, I'll probably head up there for sure, because I want that if that lake has really turned over, I'm going to go out there and try to catch some landlocked king. So I'll definitely let you guys know. So getting to the port, I always start out in the ocean, and it's been really rough this last week. When I was at the radio Seps, he was talking to one of the guys out there, and they had 18-foot waves. So it's been really rough. So I don't think anybody has been out there doing any kind of fishing or crabbing, because the only thing you could do now is basically crab out there. All the rock fishing is closed, and it's the crab season. The Dungeness crab season has been really good. They opened up the commercial guys, so those guys, they got a very late start. We had crab, before the holidays that were shipped from Oregon and Washington, but nothing from locally around here. But now they opened it up so they could go out. They only could use half their traps, but because of the whales. But they've been out there and they've been putting a lot of crabs at the markets. So a lot of the Asian markets carry live ones. And I was in there last week or a week before, and they had crab for $4.99 a pound. So basically, by the time I gas up my truck and my boat and the time I head out there and everything, it's more feasible for me to just go to the grocery store and buy them. They're live and they're really good. So crabbing, it's up to you. If you want to go out there just to take the family out and have fun, you can still go out and do it. The bay has been a little bit tough. Nobody's been really fishing, but usually I'd say probably around late March, April, guys will start going out there catching halibut. And I'm sure with all this rain, it should be a pretty decent year this year. And halibut season in the bay runs for months. So usually the bait receivers don't get anything until around June, but we'll just wait and have to see, when the anchovies show up in the bay. So going in a little bit further, the sturgeon fishing is perfect conditions for sturgeon with all this rain we're getting. A lot of the guides are still out in that Martinez to Pittsburgh area and Rio Vista. They've been catching a lot of fish, and I think with all this runoff we're getting from the Sacramento River and the bypass flooding, the water's getting kind of off-colored, which is those sturgeon really like. So, you might want to get out there and go sturgeon fishing, but also be careful. You have to read the regulations, because they changed for this year, for 2024. They changed the slot limit, and, go over the rules, because, they're going to be checking, because there's been so many changes. So make sure you go online, read all the rules that they came out with, and make sure you follow them. And, you have to do that report card. So one of the things is, down here where I live over in the South area, I'm always driving that river road, and I see a lot of guys. A lot of guys are fishing Merritt Island. I see them over at Hood, and those are probably a couple of the really good areas for catching sturgeon. And I know they've been getting them. They haven't. There's not a whole lot of talk, but when I'm driving there and I see 10 vehicles in there, and guys that are parking on the levee, because there's only so many places you could park on a levee now, because they got everything illegal and they'll give you a ticket. But they're catching, the water conditions are perfect for sturgeon. It's off color, it's moving really fast, and those fish just seem to love that kind of water when they're feeding. and you know they got ghost shrimp in the and sometimes they have grass shrimp, and eel are probably your best bets in that real muddy water like that. And some guys I know over there, those guys that are guiding out there in Pittsburgh area, they're still using the roe and also ghost shrimp. But right now is a good time to go sturgeon fishing, you know, in the area, because those sturgeon will start heading up the river, because they'll go all the way past Nice Landing to spawn. And a lot of them fish will just mosey up that river, take their time and feed. And, you know, they cover a long distance, and they'll wait till that water kind of slows down and warms up a little bit, and then they'll spawn. They spawn up north, up in above Knight's Landing to Colusa. And those fish up there you catch, a lot of them are going to be oversized because they shorten that length, you know, for keeper fish. So most of the fish you're going to catch will be ones that you'll have to release. So stripers in the area. Like I said, they open some of the gates that dump into the bypass, and that water there that's in the bypass, like if you're going to San Francisco, you look over there off the bypass, and that Lisbon Slough drains right into the tow drain, which floods Liberty Island side, so it gets really off-colored over there. I was there last week, and it was off-colored on that side, and then I went to the other side, which is the shag and cash side, and it was a little bit clearer, because that incoming and outgoing, that clear water would just go back and forth. And we also caught some nice fish in there. But I'm sure that's all muddied up now, so I probably won't be going over there for maybe another week, or when we have about a week of clear, decent weather, then I'll probably go over there and look. Some of the other areas for stripers is off the McCollum. The San Joaquin River usually stays pretty decent, fishable, from the McCollum to Stockton and over toward the Mildred Island area. So those bait fish always seem to have the knack to finding that clear water, and the stripers will be right behind them. So, you know, they're gonna have that areas where the water's clean. I would say the Port of Stockton, Mildred Island area, the Port of Sacramento, if you have access over there. Otherwise, it's a long boat ride. But those are some of the areas that, you know, when I can only see an inch down in the Sac River, that those fish seem to find. They'll find a bait fish in there, and they'll move in there, and it's actually some of the best fishing that you could possibly ever have. They just stack up in there, and the bait's in there, and you just catch one after another. So those are some of the areas that you're going to do. I would also use a lot of spoons and throw a lot of 5-inch swim baits, you know, like the impacts or some of that type of soft plastic, you know, with a 1/2-ounce jig head. Cast it out and just retrieve it. One of the top baits, and some top water action, but mostly that swim bait will be very hard to beat this time of the year. So other than that, other things going on is, I would say it's probably really good is your trout fishing. Comanche, Berryessa, New Melones. The larger lakes have been good. Shasta's been really good. Shasta, browns and rainbows, you know, 2 to 8 pounds is crazy up there. It's just going nuts. It's probably a lake that doesn't get a whole lot of pressure. The size of that lake is huge, and they've been catching some big browns out of that lake recently. But all the other lakes, like Comanche, the Mudlow lakes around here, you know, they do a lot of stocking. They stock a lot of brute stock stuff, so they plant them up to 10 pounds. So, you know, they're also planting, and also Fish and Game also plants those lakes too. Amador's been a little bit off-colored. It's stained. If you go fishing there, I would say you catch more off the bank, because when the water gets really stained like that, they'll hug the banks. So, you know, when you fish the bank, don't cast out in the middle. Just cast sideways down the side of the lake, and you'll catch them. Party opens, I think, the 2nd or 3rd week in February. Remember, there's no camping there this year, so you can't stay overnight. And, you know, I'm sure they're going to be planting heavy, you know, for the guys that go over there. They always have thousands of people off the bank, and everybody catches a lot of trout because they stock the heck out of it. So that opener's coming up in, you know, probably, I think it's the 2nd or 3rd week of February, but you could call them and find out. So the other net, Berryessa, I was up there the other day, and we're looking around. Basically, been going up there to see if that lake has turned, and it looks like it has. I saw trout jumping for the first time in probably 3 weeks that I've been going there. I saw some good signs. I saw schools of shad like a foot under the surface. So I saw a lot of grease inside the marinas and stuff. So it's telling me that, something's going on with that lake. So Berryessa, I'll be going up there looking for the landlocked kings. Folsom, I heard they've been catching some landlocks there. So Orville, I'm sure. Folsom, they're catching some landlocked kings also. But if you want to catch some big trout and browns, I probably would think about going to Shasta. So anyway, bass fishing. The lakes are pretty good if you're fishing the bigger lakes, the reservoirs. Like Folsom's been still clear, and they've been doing pretty good there. New Melones has been good. Got a friend that's been going up there, and actually little Luke went up there last week and with his dad, and they caught some nice fish. I'm sure Don Pedro, Comanche, Berryessa, I think most of them are producing this time of the year. I like to spoon this time of the year. I'll graph around and find the shad balls and then throw spoons at them. I'm sure you can get them drop shot, and you can catch them on Kitex. They're pretty much throw anything that imitates a shad and you should be on your way to catching fish. Crappie. I've been to Berryessa, been catching them there. Except this last week I went, we didn't catch a whole lot of them, but it rained like crazy on us. So, we didn't stay very long. We got out of there, just looked around on the lake a little bit. Couldn't even drive nowhere because the rain would hit you in the face, and it's just miserable. But I hear people catching crappie even at Folsom. I heard guys are catching them. Amador, they're catching some. Comanche, they're catching some. Clear Lake's been on and off. Guys that have the live targets, I know Fishing Addict, he's been catching them, but he's solely depending on his live target. He's going out there and he's looking around. He doesn't see any big schools. He sees a lot of little schools, so you get one or two out of a school, and then you have to locate them again. You have to go find them. So you can, with the live target, you could just follow them around. But the crappie fishing in the winter is usually the best time to go. So other than that, locally the fishing, with all this rain that we're getting, it's going to be on fire in the spring. I can't wait. You might have a month or so of dead time, but it's going to be turn on. It's going to be probably a really good spring this year. Okay, guys, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this friend of mine. He's a very personal friend of mine, and he's starting up this thing for guys that own businesses, or if you're actually working for a company for a long time and you want to get them to participate. I want to do it over again, because last time I did this, he told me I did it wrong. So basically, he's starting this ad company. It's called Subcontractors United. You could go online and go to Subcontractors United, and what it is, a collective of businesses in your area that caters toward home remodeling and improvement needs. This helps the homeowner when it comes time to choose the right electrician, plumber, contractor, heat, landscaping, all kinds of stuff, anything, garage door openers, asphalt, driveways, everything you would ever need when you're doing any kind of improvement. And by advertising together on Subcontractors United, the business will gain greater exposure and save 97.5% on their advertising costs. It's a great concept that is aimed toward helping the homeowner, and the contractors would save a lot of money. So basically, if you have a business, if you want to try it, he's offering, you just mentioned Alan Fong, and he'll give you free advertising, and then you can see how it works for you. And if it doesn't work, then just cancel it. So anyway, the best way to do this is, I'm going to give you a number. you're going to call Matt Olivia at 619-302-1111. And just tell Matt that, Alan told you, and you tell him what kind of business you have, or, if you want to get your boss involved or whatever. And just tell him that, you want to join up. You can also go on Subtractors United's website and look at it. It tells you everything about it. It lists all the different businesses that are going to be on this thing. And remember, just call Matt at 619-302-1111. Just tell him Alan told you about it, and he'll get you all signed up. Or if you just want to talk to him and see what's going on, he'll explain everything to you, and you can make the choice whether you want to do it or not. So anyway, fishing, I can't wait, for us to get like a week or two of clean, warm weather, and sunny out, and maybe get temperatures in the low 70s, and fishing is just going to turn on. And also another, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret, is that the McCallum Fish Hatchery starting to release their steelhead smoked at New Hope Marina, which is at the mouth of the McCallum, where it comes in right there at Wimpy's, so the fish know where to come back. So they released them there. They started last week, and they're going to keep stocking all the way through this February till they don't have any more. So you know what? There's going to be a lot of stripers on that side of the McCallum out there. So that's my tip. And if you like this video, hit the like. Please subscribe, because it'll help the channel out a lot. And if you want to leave me a comment, just leave a comment, and I'll get back to you within a couple days. See you guys next week.